Okay, welcome back to another edition of The Right Call. This is a special edition of The Right Call for a few reasons. First of all, this is an Altman family edition of The Right Call. And what better expert could we have on the show than Corinne Ferry, who experienced her first Altman family football game today. Corinne, we're so happy you're on the show.
What an honor. Thank you so much, Mark Altman. This is really, truly an honor to be here today.
Corinne, first we have to start with your cap because it's a great cap. Can we understand what that cap is all about?
Yes, I actually went on a really beautiful vacation to Charleston, South Carolina with somebody that you might know, and we picked up this cap, the Butcher and the Bee. Beautiful restaurant.
But what do we call that team name on that hat?
Buzzkill.
Buzzkill, right? Yeah. What a great nickname.
And I created that nickname within seconds.
All right, Corinne, we gotta get right to to the show today.
Okay,
Corinne,
let's do it.
Corinne, here it is.
Yes.
We're in Rockport, Massachusetts today, and this right call is about doing some analysis of the game. This is some post-game analysis. So, Corinne, I got to tell you, what was the experience like playing with all those Altman athletes today?
Honestly, I mean, I felt like I should have spent some time training ahead of time because, I mean, those Altman men, I mean, they're physical and they know the game, and I needed to brush up on some skills. So
Corinne, let me ask you first about some of the participants today.
Sure.
I want to start with Zeke Altman, and I start with him because obviously he's reeling from losing horrendously to me a race in Iceland, so I don't know if that's still bothering him. So how was his effort today with Zeke?
I thought Zeke was pretty phenomenal. I mean, I could totally defend him easily, but he really tried hard.
Do you think that's because you're a bigger Celtics fan than him?
I definitely am that. I think it's more too.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a faster runner.
Now let's go to Wayne Altman. So Wayne, who really, he plays a little basketball, multi-sport athlete.
Yeah.
What was Wayne's performance like today?
Wayne was focused. Wayne really enjoyed drawing the lines of the field with his heel, and he did an adequate job with that. I mean, we did have some conflicts around that, but Wayne really put his heart into it for sure.
He did.
Yeah,
he
did.
And let's go to some of your teammates, Corinne, for a moment. Let's switch gears.
I'd love to.
One of your teammates was Marcus Altman, and I'm just wondering,
Marcus is no joke.
Yeah, I mean he came to play.
He did. I mean, he was catching those passes even one was like he landed right on the sand into the ocean. Like he was.
I mean, Marcus played a little like Gronk, making catches in traffic.
He was incredible.
He was catching in traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was very impressed.
And now let's go on to, before we get to the star of the game, we're not there yet. Before we get to the star of the game, I want to ask also about a few other players.
Sure.
I want to ask about Jacoby. Now, Jacoby is pretty much focused on basketball today. So did you see any additional or surprise skills from Jacoby Altman today?
Jacoby played really well. Something that he enjoyed doing was once he caught the ball, he would autograph it and pass it to me, which was slightly annoying. And I remember saying to him, just be humble, Jacoby, just be humble. But I'll tell you, he pushes and he wants to win. So he definitely has that drive. Yes.
Well, that's great advice to Jacoby. And so in reflecting on the teams today, we had Akash, who was originally slated to be official quarterback. But on that last drive of the game, Corinne, Akash made some huge catches.
He did. And Akash can count. I mean, that's one thing that I really took from that game, that he could count. He even threw in the Mississippis. And he wasn't joking around. Like, he was kind of getting upset when we were close to spending too much time as a team in a huddle, and he wanted to get the game to move on.
Yeah,
so.
Akash, there was two big moments for Akash today. One is he was simulating a play clock most of the game.
Yes,
and the other, there was a big controversial moment of the amount of Mississippis we were counting.
Right?
Akash was pretty upset. He wanted 10 Mississippis, and we were only counting 5 Mississippis.
Yes, I agree. And I just feel like Akash would team up with his dad to kind of go against us a lot. There was some controversial calls made, but you know what? It's family fun. We let it slide.
Indeed. So, and then one of the other keys today, we talked about Akash, Zeke, Jacoby, Wayne.
How about you?
Well, Corinne, I think that I tried my best to simulate a real NFL player. Was there any player that you thought I simulated effectively today?
I forget his name again.
Oh, Corinne, you are
I'm sorry,
killing me
wait,
right
stop.
now.
JJ, what?
Oh, I mean, Corinne,
I got it.
for you to just volunteer
I got that.
without me giving you any hints or
Right.
suggestions, for you just to watch my play and think it reminded you
Yeah.
of JJ Watt.
I mean, it was really, you were unreal.
I mean, did it feel like with me swatting down balls at the line of scrimmage? Is that what made you?
And Mark, you're the reason we had a crowd. Like, we started to attract some spectators.
It was amazing.
And they were there to watch you.
Yeah, I feel like that's true.
Definitely.
And I mean, I had a difficult role at official QB, so that was important.
You did.
All right, Corinne, let's get to the biggest story of the day. And this is really why we opted to do this edition of The Right Call. When the Altmans get together for kickball in the backyard or family football games, we're always looking for the star player. And how about Lee Altman? I mean, Lee Altman, who has been in the kind of a long-term disabled list.
That's terrible.
But he
In
comes
what
out
way? Injuries?
fearless. I mean, fearless today.
He was incredible.
I mean,
absolutely incredible.
Running crossing
Yes.
patterns, rushing the passer.
Right.
Dual player playing both offense and defense effectively. Corinne, what did you see in Lee today? And, Corinne, we have a caller.
We have
Hold
a
on
caller.
before
We'll
you
get
come in.
back to that.
So who do we have on the phone?
Hi, this is Cole Altman. I just had some words of wisdom I wanted to include in this podcast.
Well,
Okay.
Cole, before we ask you for some insight, I'd like to let Corinne finish answering, and then I'm going to ask you the same question, even though you weren't there today, Cole. I mean, Corinne, what did you see in Lee's skill set that really wowed you today?
Precision, execution, and drive. I mean, several times I feel like I stopped in my tracks and I was like, MVP. I mean, he really was better than everybody else.
I mean, MVP's pretty strong words right there.
And from me, I mean, he was phenomenal.
And Cole, before you offer your words of wisdom, I mean, this is your uncle. You've seen him in sport in the past. Cole, what have you learned from Uncle Lee and his athleticism? What have you taken into your sports competition today from Uncle Lee?
I feel like with Uncle Lee, I've noticed a couple resemblances of players that he reminds me of.
Okay.
First of all, hockey player Kevin Miller for the Boston Bruins. He's hurt very often, very, very often, but when he's out on the ice or on the field, he is the star of the game. And he also reminds me of basketball player Charles Barkley, who has all the pieces there, but couldn't quite put it together. But unlike Charles Barkley, he finally put it together today on the football field.
Well, I have to tell you both. Lee Altman was an aspiring cornerback when he was younger and showed some flashes on some Stephon Gilmore today, a little Asante Samuel at times today. And I have to tell you, the biggest guy that I saw Lee Altman resemble today was one of his favorite players, Julian Edelman. I mean, the way he was running across the middle, catching those balls. And here's the thing, even late in the game, Corinne, and I think this is what really sticks out to me today. And Cole, please stay on the line. What really sticks out to me, Corinne, was he had a sore groin muscle late in the game.
Oh, I didn't realize
But he didn't beg out.
No, he didn't.
He stayed there. He
No.
still rushed the passer and was committed to
He gave
finishing
it
for his
his
team,
all.
right?
I mean, we can't say that about professional athletes.
That's right.
Like your friend LeBron, he would have been.
Well, LeBron would still be writhing in pain on the court because he broke a toenail, but
Right.
we digress. Cole, what other thoughts did you have on the show today?
I would just like to add that I think Uncle Lee really set the tone out there. I wasn't there, but I could feel it, a tone of presence and toughness out on the field. From what you told me, he really was a huge part of the game today, and he showed flashes of potential and skill in his career for the rest of his lifetime.
I just have to add something quickly because Cole, you
Thanks for
weren't
the call, Cole.
obviously. No, I'd like him to stay on the line.
Okay. Alrighty then.
Oh, bye, Cole. Prior to our game, what activity was Lee participating in? Do you recall? It just shows his versatility.
Oh, the kite?
He was flying a
Oh,
kite.
my God. I mean, this guy, Corinne,
Right.
what a great call.
Right?
Corinne, that's the right call.
And thank you. Thank you.
I mean, you look at the multi-sport athlete Lee is. I mean, he's flying a kite with his kids. He's modeling the versatility and athleticism. And I got to tell you, Corinne, that's such a huge point because for him to shift his skill set from flying
Steps
a kite
right in.
to
Steps
playing
right in.
beach football,
Yep.
it's huge.
I know.
Huge.
I'm glad he was on our team. For
All
sure.
right. Well, kudos to the Woburn Altmans for coming out victorious today. Everybody played a major role. And again, final thought, special shout out again to Lee Altman for being
Yes.
the MVP and Akash Altman for simulating the game clock because
Right.
that's
he
a skill.
I teased him about that, but he really
that's
yeah,
huge.
Yeah, he was great with that.
All right. So for Corinne Ferry, I'm Mark Altman. Thanks for another edition of The Right Call.